I don't care if you consider yourself a prepper or not, every person should have one of these. By all means, I do not consider myself a true prepper. What I am obsessed with is preserving food and having an emergency supply of food for my family in case you ever need it. The thing I truly believe that everybody should have is a 3-day emergency supply of food. Some people call that a 72-hour kit. Some people call it a bug out bag. Whatever it is important to have a 3-day supply of food for every member of your household, including food and water. I purchased some supplies at Walmart to put together a go bag. I obviously have lots of shelf-stable preserved food in my prepper stash, but I don't have anything that I can just grab and go. So that's why today I am gonna put together a 72-hour kit. I'm gonna show you everything that I use, and I'm hoping I can inspire you to do the same. It is truly devastating what is currently going on the East Coast with Hurricane Helene and then now Hurricane Milton. My heart is completely broken for any of you who have lost homes, have damage to your homes, have lost loved ones. It is so scary when these natural disasters happen, and my heart has been going out and thinking of all of you who have been affected by this. So my eyes have just been opened, and I am motivated more now than ever to have emergency supplies for my family in case you ever have to evacuate on a moment's notice. I don't care where you live. A natural disaster can happen anywhere. So if you're new, down in my basement is where I keep my prepper stash, and I am quickly outgrowing my food storage cabinet. I need to get another one ASAP because I need more shelves. I decided to get this little duffel bag to have for my 72-hour kit. I got it at Walmart. It was only $9. I will link it either on the video screen here or down below, whatever YouTube will let me do, but this is gonna work perfect. If you don't wanna buy a bag, just use an old duffel bag that you already have. You could use a reusable grocery bag. Just something that I suggest has handles and would be easy to grab quickly for you to carry and leave if you had to leave fast. I am gonna be doing 3 breakfasts, lunches, and dinners. So I'm gonna look around in my bins for food that I want to add to my 72-hour kit. While I'm figuring out what I want to put in my kit, last night I did prep a dish for some dinner meals for my 72-hour kit that I am going to freeze dry. So I'm going to take you back to where I was preparing it, and then we will get it in the freeze dryer. While I'm doing that, I'm going to figure out what to grab for my breakfast and lunches. Hi, this is me last night preparing my ham cheddar soup. I had lots of leftover potatoes and leftover ham from a dinner from a few nights ago. And I obviously didn't want it to go to waste, and I knew I wanted to make some more MRE meals. So cheddar, ham, and potato soup is what I went with. I cooked it all in my crock pot. I used ham, Yukon Gold potatoes, celery, diced onion, chicken broth, what else? Just some spices, and then I used a milk and cornstarch slurry at the end to thicken it up, and then added a bunch of cheese and sour cream. This tastes so good. I am surprised at how simple this soup is, but yet it tastes good. It's gonna have lots of protein and be very filling. I am going to pre-freeze this in my freezer, so I am putting on my tray lids and gonna freeze these overnight, and then in the morning we will get these going in the freeze dryer. I'm going into customize, and I'm going to do the same settings as my last run, -10, 0 extra freeze, try temp 125, extra dry time 6 hours. Save, start, and then we wait 15 minutes before loading our trays. Thanks, Vanilla Ice. We woke up to something that I am not welcoming yet into our environment. I will show you when I'm leaving to work today. I'm not ready. I'm not ready for it. Let's get these lids off and see how they're looking. All right. Ooh, it smells so good. Ham and potato soup. Now Vanilla Ice is gonna do all the work for me. This will take, I'm sure, over 24 hours. let's go head outside and I'll show you what we woke up to today. Good morning. Good morning. There is snow. There's a little bit on the mountain and on the trees. And here's how the front looks. It wasn't heavy enough to stick to the roads and the concrete, but definitely stuck to the grass and the trees. I'll have to take you outside later today and see how fast this snow is gonna melt. I mean, hopefully it will. I have chosen my breakfast foods. It's so nice that I had options to choose from that were already done. So I have 2 oatmeal varieties. This is the apple cinnamon oatmeal and then a banana nut oatmeal. And I made these adding protein powder. I love having protein with breakfast, and especially in like an emergency situation, you want to be eating good food. So that's what I love about freeze-dried meals. You can cook your normal meals and have them for your emergency food. And then my third breakfast is this breakfast skillet. This is like a ham, egg, and potato scramble that turned out really good. 3 breakfasts, check. I don't know if I mentioned my 72-hour kit is gonna be for 1 person, so this is for myself. The rest of my family can fend for themselves. Totally kidding. I'm gonna slowly build up a 72-hour kit for each person, but right now we're just gonna focus on 1 person. Me. My ham and cheddar soup is done freeze drying. It has run for 26 hours, so it's time to get it out. We had another amazing Northern Lights show last night. I will post some pictures later on in the video to show you. I also heard that they were seen all over the United States. Tell me if you got to see the Northern Lights this week where you live. It was so magical. It always is. It's just like awe-inspiring. So beautiful. I'm gonna package my soup in these Mylar bags. I really like these ones because they have a zip top closure and the bottom opens so that the bag can stand up on its own, which is super nice. I plan to do half a tray in each bag and just consider this each bag 1 meal. It might be a little over like 1 serving size, but you never know how hungry you're gonna be, right? So half a tray is gonna be a meal. I'm gonna end up with 8 meals. I've got all my bags labeled with the contents that is inside. Tip, label your bags before you put the food in, and your handwriting might turn out a little nicer than mine did. So all I need to do now is take 3 of these and put them in my 72-hour kit. The rest will just go in my prepper stash. I'm so excited about these. Well, I'm happy to say it's noon and the snow is gone. So a lot of these meals I have made in previous videos, so I will link those in the video description below if you want to check out how to make any of these recipes. For my lunches, I have chosen a taco bowl MRE, chili mac. This says it's 2 servings, but maybe I'll be extra hungry, so it's kind of nice to have extra. This is like a noodle. It's basically like a chili recipe with added noodles just for extra fullness and some starch. And lastly, this is a lasagna casserole that I made in a recent video. This one tasted so good. Again, this one is 2 servings also. It would fit better in my bag if I had 1 serving containers of this, but when I packed it, I did 2. I think it's gonna be fine though. You can see I have some food stored in jars. I don't want these in my 72-hour kit because it just adds a lot of extra weight and glass if I'm like tossing it into a car. I don't want to worry about my jars breaking. So that's why I'm sticking with bagged food. This bin here is my fruit bin, which I love that I have lots of freeze-dried fruits. By the way, freeze-dried pineapple is like the best thing ever. I just don't have any small bags. I think the next time I do fruit, I'm gonna freeze dry some in small pouches so that I could put some snack size fruit bags in my 72-hour kit. I don't wanna waste space with a whole thing like this for just our emergency meals, but that'll be on my to-do list. It's probably time that I reorganize this, but we will just close the doors for now. So I have a freeze drying TikTok account where I post short form videos. I post a lot of the shorts here on YouTube as well, but I'm telling you, the TikTok world is a completely different world than the YouTube world. And people can be very mean. Also, a lot do not understand the point of freeze drying and preserving food, which is understandable. If you haven't been taught or learned about it, then you wouldn't understand. So it totally makes sense. But what I'm trying to do is just educate and show others what's possible. Here are some comments that I have received on a recent TikTok video of mine, and it's kind of shocking. Many people think you can just go to the store and buy the food you need, but you can't do that if you are in the middle of a hurricane or if your roads have been completely flooded out and you can't physically drive to the store. The truckers can't drive the food to the grocery store to stock the store. So many possibilities of reasons why you can't get to a grocery store and buy the food that you want. I was watching a news reporter reporting after Hurricane Helene, talking about how you survived the actual storm itself, but can you survive the next few days after? Many people are not able to go to the store. There is still rescue efforts happening right now, and if you don't have emergency food, you might be going hungry, and that's completely terrifying and scary to me, and I think it should like worry everybody. Cannot get this tag off. Okay, there we go. You know what's funny? My mom is so good at cutting these tags with her teeth, which I'm sure is not good for your teeth. But we called her Psycho Scissor Teeth. Anytime we needed a tag taken off, we would ask my mom, Psycho Scissor Teeth, to cut these off because her teeth were like scissors. I didn't inherit that talent from her, unfortunately. So in my bag, I am starting with my bottled water. I believe the suggestion is a gallon per day per person. I'm not gonna fit 3 gallons of water in here. So I am just gonna stick with 3, these are 1.5 liter size bottles, just as a start. I also have some gallon jugs of water that I have on hand for if we need water. But for the quick emergency bag, I'm just sticking with 3 of these. But remember, we are gonna need water to rehydrate the food and drinking water. So yeah, I mean, I probably ideally should have at least 6 of these in the bag. I think it would fit. And then I am just gonna try to organize this food the least fragile on the bottom. I mean, everything's pretty fine. I am adding some plastic spoons and forks just in the side pocket here because we need a way to actually eat our food. And all of this freeze-dried food can be prepared inside the bag and eaten from the bag. So I am not doing any extra like bowls or you know, things to eat out of. I'm just gonna eat out of the bag. We're actually looking really good. I think I can fit 3 more of these bottles in here. So I'm definitely going to do that. And then we are just waiting on our 3 freeze-dried soup meals. And then there's just a few extra things that I'm gonna grab to throw in the bag as well, just because you can't forget about like your caffeine and stuff like that that your body is used to. If I'm able to have it in an emergency situation, that would be greatly appreciated. I also want to let you know that if you don't have a freeze dryer, you can still pack a 72-hour kit. After I get my soup out of the freeze dryer, I will show you the things that you can do to make a 72-hour kit without using like homemade freeze-dried food. You definitely still can do it without a freeze dryer, so don't worry, there's still options. my 72-hour kit. I just need to finish filling it up. I could not find, well, I didn't have any more of these 1.5 liter bottles. So I'm just adding 6 more regular size water bottles to just make up for the extra water that I need. And I've got space for my potato soup dinners. Zip it up and see if everything fits. We did it. Off subject, but look how cool the ice is defrosting off of my freeze dryer. It's like a thin little piece of ice right there coming off of the wall. I just thought that looked really cool. The reason my machine is open is I did this on no defrost. I'm just letting it melt slowly on its own and drain into my drain bucket. But when you do the defrost cycle, it does it in like 2 hours. The last few things I am adding are in my magic pockets. First, I have 3 of these Element hydration packs. These are so good for staying hydrated. They have 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, 60 milligrams of magnesium. These are also really nice because they don't add any sugar, but we've also done like liquid IVs. Those are good too. Those taste really good. They do usually have sugar in them. These ones, I also love the taste. I will link them on Amazon. They're a little bit expensive, but I think worth it to have these in your 72-hour kit. Next from the magic pocket is gonna be your caffeine source if you're a caffeine addict. I mean, if you're a coffee drinker, you could do instant coffee powder. I have these not hydration, they're just caffeine mix-ins that go into a water bottle that are not good for you, I know, but they work when you need some caffeine and energy. So these are going in. And lastly, something that has multi-purpose, some hard candy. They're good for just like creating saliva. If you really need like some hydration and don't have access to water, hard candy is a good thing to just suck on. And a little sugary treat, never hurt anybody. We did it. I got my 72-hour kit. I'm gonna be able to survive for at least 3 days with all this in here. So that's good to know. I focused on just food and water today. Obviously, you could add a first aid kit, medication, tools, supplies, things that you need for survival in emergency situations, but I just wanted to focus on food and water. We got this down. 1 out of 5 people in my family are now prepared. If you have other ideas on essentials that you would put in your bug out bag, please leave them in the comments below to share with everybody else. I would love to learn from all of you what you would put in your 72-hour kit. Now, if you don't have a freeze dryer or a way to make your own freeze-dried, shelf-stable food, you can still do a 72-hour kit. They actually sell 72-hour kits in like a backpack on Amazon that have everything that you need for 3 days of survival. It's a perfect option. You could just buy it and be done with it. You don't have to think about anything. If you want to be able to choose what types of food are in your 72-hour kit, you can just go to Walmart, or you can, I think, buy them on Amazon and get your favorite Mountain House meals. They have lots of varieties of all different kinds of freeze-dried food. You could just buy theirs and put your own kit together. Buy the water, buy the meals, and you're ready to go. You could also do canned food. Like you can do canned soups, canned pastas, things like that. You just want to keep track of the expiration dates because those are going to be a shorter shelf life than the freeze-dried food, but you can still get a good 2 or 3 years, I'm sure, with your canned foods. You just want stuff that doesn't require cooking. Freeze-dried food, you just need to add water. Canned food, you could just pop open and eat. Convenient things like that are what I suggest. If you are interested in purchasing a freeze dryer, mine is from Harvest Right. It is a size medium. I absolutely love it. I have a link down in the video description below to where you can purchase these. Vanilla ice has been one of my favorite purchases ever. I am gonna go put this in my prepper stash, and all of the links to things I've talked about will be in the video description below if you want to check any of that out. I decided to come out on a walk, and sorry, I'm kind of out of breath because I've been walking uphill. It's about 38 degrees, and I think my outdoor walking days are quickly coming
to an end. There are Alaskans who will walk outside all winter long. You just gear up and go. I have not become that kind of Alaskan. I, again, just want to reach out to any of you in Florida or anywhere on the East Coast who has been affected by Hurricane Helene and Milton. I'm truly sorry for what you're going through and how hard and scary that must be. Please let us know how you're doing in the comments if you feel comfortable sharing. Just please know that I am praying for all of you. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you've made it this far, I have a little announcement. I am going to do my very first live stream. I have been so nervous about going live here on my YouTube channel. I don't know why. I think because when I record videos, if I mess up, I can just re-record it and fix what I did wrong. In a live video, you get the real me, mistakes and all. We just passed a cute dog, but I got my package from Freeze Drying Supplies and I want to do an unboxing live and show you what I got and how everything looks. I just think that would be fun. Would you guys tune in if I did a live? I'm thinking this coming Sunday at 3 p.m. Alaska time, which I think is 6 p.m. on the East Coast, 2 p.m. No, I'll have to figure it out. I will post a community tab announcing when and where this is happening, but Sunday afternoon, evening, and that's going to be October 13th. And if you can't join me at that time, you will be able to watch the replay. So thank you so much. I will tag some more MRE videos here if you want some more ideas of things that you could put in your 72-hour kits. And always remember, when you freeze dry today, you secure your tomorrow. Bye, friends.